Sunday. It's about 10 a.m. Here's the house with everything done. Everything done on that list. So I got the quarter round in on this window and it's all caulked and ready to paint. No gaps. Down here, trimmed out this window and caulked it. And you can see everything's tight and sealed. Okay. Same deal with these windows. Caulked, ready to paint. Okay, I'm going to try to remember to get everything on this video. Hopefully I don't miss anything. So here's our new trim on these windows. All caulked, all those nail holes are filled. Some of them are just showing through a little bit, but they're filled. Okay. This one's all caulked too. I replaced this little block in the corner there. So moving on, these are the two windows that I had to replace the sills on. And you can see it's kind of dusty, but that's a perfect fit. And it looks pretty good. Those are all caulked and ready to paint. New quarter round and new trim. Okay. Same deal on this one. I'm pretty happy with them. They turned out really well. Everything's caulked. This crack is caulked. Just needs paint. Yeah. And new trim over here, new quarter round. Caulked, sanded. Okay. Caulked this front door trim. Ready to paint. We got our new door on this closet. Fits perfectly. This is textured. The shelf is nailed down and the seam around the bottom is caulked. This is all textured. Ceiling's textured. Obviously not the shelf. Here's our door down the stairs. That fits perfectly, looks really good. Everything's sanded and textured all the way around the edges. Focus, there. It's invisible. Okay. This closet. Kind of dark, but there you can see it. It's all textured. These wooden rails are caulked and textured all the way up to the ceiling, if you can see it. Paint ready. And I skimmed the walls and took care of all those gaps we had in the corners. That's all smooth. Flawless, of course. In the bathroom, we have the floor under the toilet fixed. Rock solid. I think that's all that happened in here. Oh, fix these ugly cracks we had up in the corner here. Caulked them. Door fits well. There's our attic. Caulked the trim and put in the new hatch, the textured piece of sheetrock in there. Okay. Going in the bedroom. So in these two bedrooms, as well as down the stairway, which you'll see in a minute, like we talked about, I did a little 3-inch skim all the way around the base, sanded it and retextured it, and it turned out really well. It's totally smooth. You won't be able to see a thing once it's painted. Focus. It doesn't want to focus today. Okay. Caulked all these windows. Same with that one. Closet doors. So this is one of the only things I'm kind of iffy about that I might have to go back and fix. In the directions for these sliding doors, it said to use a trim board up here, and it said to use a 2x2, which is what that is, and it said that would cover the crack. So I put a 2x2 up there and then put the doors up, and obviously, as you can see, there's still a little crack showing. I can fix that if you want. If it's not a big deal to you, we can just go with it. I mean, it looks pretty good other than that. So I'll just show you they work great. We have the hardware to put the little track holder, whatever you want to call it, that goes on top of the carpet to hold the doors. I have those, so once the carpet's in, we can go back and put those in. These closets are all textured. I took the shelves out, took the rod out, textured it. I floated them where necessary, so everything's smooth. Then I put the shelves back in and caulked the seams. Ready for paint. There's our slider rail. Okay, texture. Caulked the baseboard. Focus. There. Baseboard's ready to paint. Okay. Same thing in here. Skimmed the lower edge. It's all smooth and textured. Caulked the windows. Sliding doors. Closets skimmed and textured. God, what the hell's wrong with my camera? It won't focus. Piece of shit. Same deal. Shelf, rod, nailed in and caulked. Sliders. I had to cut these all to length, and I left enough gap at the bottom for the carpet. Okay, and that trim board is caulked in there, so once it's painted, you won't be able to really tell anything's off. There's just that tiny little gap, which sucks. I don't know, maybe I could just stick another 2x2 on the bottom of this one, same in the other room. Caulk it in, maybe that would look okay. But like I said, that's like the only thing that I was iffy about. Everything else is peachy. Okay, moving on. Hopefully it's not too dark down here. Here's our stairway with our nice new railing. Got 3 supports on it, into the studs, of course. And then I cut the ends and turned them into the wall like that. It turned out really well. And it is rock solid. Okay, so for this little railing, or not railing, but my words have escaped me. For this little fence thing, I put the header, I put this 1x4 header up, and then I put a piece of trim on this side of it that's flush, just to kind of cap that corner of the sheetrock that was ugly, and I just ran it all the way out here to the end. I think it looks good. And that's all caulked. All these nail holes are filled in, ready to paint, sanded. And these are all solid. I'm happy with it. Caulked the seam down here, so everything there is going to look really tight once it's painted. We just might have to come back and caulk some of this. We'll see though. We'll throw a coat of paint on it first. Okay, so I sanded this ceiling and got rid of all those spots that we weren't happy with and retextured it, and it looks as good as the upstairs ceiling now. I put little cover boxes. This one is over that shut-off valve in the ceiling. I put it on with screws, so if at some point it needs to be accessed, it can be. I caulked it and textured it. And then we've got this one for the shut-off for the house. It's just a little 2x2 frame with a removable panel. And it's solid, and this panel just fits on there like so, and we'll paint the panel, and everything will look good. I'm done. Coming down the stairway, same as in those upstairs bedrooms, I did a little 3-inch skim where that baseboard was, sanded it and textured it so there's no lines or nail holes or anything. And I brought it down all the way down to here with that skim and sanding it. And I fixed this gap that we had down here. I sprayed foam in there like we talked about, and then I just mudded it, sanded it, and textured it. That looks great. Okay. This window frame, I skimmed it. It's totally smooth, and I textured it. There's no lines or anything in it. Then obviously we got the quarter round hiding the gap. That's all caulked, ready for paint. Trimmed out this little window, that's all ready for paint. Caulked everything, spackled all the nail holes. I built this little box around this concrete thing. Just textured it, and we'll paint it. Hopefully it won't be too noticeable, but it won't be bare concrete, so that's a plus. I trimmed out this door too. That's our bathroom door. I think it was in Brian's way, so he took it off. So obviously it's a little messy, but I'm gonna sweep and vacuum all this up. Just so you know. So I threw this trim up here to cover that gap. Spackled, caulked, ready to go. This room got textured. Behind the door. And I just kind of blended it into the ceiling. I fixed this, skimmed this ductwork, sanded it smooth. Okay. Obviously didn't texture the cabinet, but that's ready to be painted. I did texture this side because it was kind of already textured. Okay. We'll go in this bedroom first. Okay, this window was covered up with plastic when you were here, so we didn't notice it, but it needed trim around it. There was a gap around it, so I just threw some trim up there. That's that nice trim from the Carnation House. This closet's textured. It's got the false floor that what's his name put in. This is ready to just have carpet up over that bump and then up into the closet. The doors are cut to leave enough room for that. So on this one, there wasn't as much room here for the track, so I didn't have room to put in that 2x2 trim. So to cover it up, I put this piece of trim up there. It was just kind of a spur of the moment thought. If you like it, great. If not, I can figure something else out. But it covers the gap completely. And it's nailed up there and ready to go if you like it. It matches the trim on this window. So I think it looks good. We talked about baseboard in this room, and I think that was on the list, but we talked about waiting till after the carpet was installed so I don't end up with a gap, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to just throw that in there when the carpet's done. Because I've done that before, and you always end up either putting it in too high or too low, and then... Okay, this all got texture on it. So it's kind of dark. I should have brought my flashlight with me. Shit. Well, you can see it. This is the closet under the stairs. I put in that sheetrock piece to cover up the back. I skimmed the whole closet, sanded it, and textured it. This is our light switch here. I moved that so it's not stuffed into the corner. It turned out really well. That's smooth here and textured. Everything on here is textured. This wall was kind of ugly, so I just skimmed it and textured it. Here's our countertops that Brian's working on. This little wall here, remember, was pretty ugly, so I skimmed that, and it looks great. No lines or anything in it. I skimmed, there were some holes here from a toilet paper holder, skimmed them, textured it, textured this whole bathroom. I textured it all, I textured the ceiling, I textured all the way around there. All the way around there. Shot everything. Made sure to tape everything off really well, of course. Okay. I think that's it for this room. We'll try to find some baseboard that covers this a little better. This is just a vent that I took off to paint them. Painted all the vents white. Okay, our laundry room might be a little bit dark. None of the lights in here work. I have yet to figure out why. It might just be bad light bulbs. But I think you can see it. So I've patched these holes, skimmed everything, and textured everything. Pretty straightforward. And we're waiting on the furnace to be shut down so we can just close up this oil tank. But I textured up to like right here, so that we can just throw a sheet of plywood up there later. But yeah, everything in here is textured and smooth, ready to paint. Ceiling too. And one more thing I forgot to mention, this little box over that, I don't know what it was, a sump pump access or something like that. Put it on with screws. So there's this little sheet of plywood on the face that you can just unscrew and pop off. It's textured, ready to paint, caulked. Okay, what am I forgetting? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I'm pretty happy with how this stuff turned out. I think it looks really good. I'll show you the back side of this doorway. Good to go. Okay. Trying to think if I left anything out. I think that's it. Okay. Hopefully you like what you see.